Good morning, everyone. Welcome to, oh, wait a minute. What's going on here? I can hardly hear myself. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Let's see, hold on a second. There we go. All right, now that we got everything situated here on my end, I could probably hear me when I couldn't hear myself, so I was just wondering what's going on. Anyway, this is Trey James for JockJive Sports Entertainment. We're here in Prince George County, Virginia, where we are broadcasting the 2024 Dixie Softball World Series.
This is going to be a big game between two undefeated teams.
And as the announcer says, we are having two undefeated teams go off today, Virginia and Alabama. Virginia being the away team and Alabama being the home team. So whoever loses today will not be eliminated, but that game will come this afternoon. Anyway, this is
announce today's umpires. Behind the plate today is Mr. Otis Bowles. At third base will be Mr. Justin Beaver. And at first base is Mr. Milton Lawson. Those are today's umpires. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, as you heard the umpires being announced, I want to try and get the announcements of the players in. We're going to be starting here momentarily. For Virginia, we have leading off number 9, Mallory Barton. She will be playing the pitcher. And batting second, number 2, Marissa Lee will be in right center. Batting
after the equipment is fully checked, we'll have both teams line up on their respective foul lines, and we'll have a prayer in the national anthem to begin today's events.
Okay, and as we continue, batting third, number 15, Reese Toombs. She'll be in shortstop position. Batting fourth, number 10, Jolie Lane. She is playing third base. Number 14, batting fifth, will be Candace Friend. She is the first baseman. Batting sixth, number 22, Emma Barton. She'll be playing catcher. Batting seventh, number 1, Alyssa Gosney. She's a substitute. Batting eighth, number 19, Zatria Whitehead, playing left field. Batting ninth, number 23, Aubrey Barton. She is playing second base. Batting 10th, number 7, Avery Barton. She's a substitute. And you can still hear the kids chanting. Batting 11th, number 8, Madeline Tatum. She is the left center. And batting 12th, number 16, Harley Nelson, playing right field. The coaches for Virginia are Jessica Tatum and Katie Lane, with the manager Brian Barton. And they are lining up now for the national anthem and the prayer. So we will be right back. Play ball. My always favorite line after the song's over. All right.
All right, ladies, this is Monday morning at the office. Go to work.
Okay, everybody, we're getting ready here to start the game. Like I stated earlier, let me see if I can turn this down a little bit. There we go. As I stated earlier, it is the undefeated teams playing each other in this game. The loser will not be eliminated, so that is one of the good things for one of the teams. But it's trying to. There was only one team that made it through the Bells and Ponytails games last week, and that was North Carolina. They went through undefeated, which is a very difficult thing to do. So they are happy.
Number 6, Pettyjohn.
The announcer was just making the announcement that Catherine Pettyjohn is going to be pitching for the Alabama team, and her battery mate, number 16, Ann Vickers, will be behind the plate. As you can see, the umpires are talking to the coaches, giving them the story of what's going on, what to do, what they can't do. If they have any questions, go to the head ump, and then we go from there. So Alabama's in the field. Virginia's coming to the plate first. And when Alabama comes up to the bat, I will give their full batting order. And it's a little breezy right now. So if you can see the flag out in center field, it is blowing from west to east at a full gale. So it might be a little tricky for the infielders and outfielders for pop-ups. So the pitcher will be best to just deal with ground balls today. Wow, those kids are loud. Yeah, I just turned down the EQ on the high end, the frequency, so they won't come blaring through so much now. And it looks like we're just having a bit of a gale here as far as the wind. All right. Wow, we are really loud here. That just might be in my headphones. All right, let's do it that way.
Leading off the game for Virginia, number 9, Mallory Barton.
All right, Mallory Barton is up to bat first. She is number 9. She is the pitcher for Virginia. So Catherine Pettyjohn will lead off again, or will be pitching against Mallory Barton, who is also the pitcher. So it's pitcher versus pitcher right now. As ball 1 to Mallory. And the delivery. Strike 1, says the ump. And they are wearing blue today. During some of the games yesterday, they were wearing pink. So I really couldn't call them the blue crew anymore. And that ball is hit over to the right side and is over the fence, so it is out of play. And the first baseman for Alabama, Allie Armstead, was not able to retrieve it. So that brings the count to 1-2 here in the top of the first. And the umpire agrees with me, so all's right in the world. And the pitch. And that ball gets by the catcher. That's 2-2 now. And the chance to start. They were at it before the game even started. I'll explain that in a minute. That ball is hit to the shortstop. She bobbles it a little bit, throws it over to first base, and is out by a step. Barton is out by a step, and that is a 6-3 put out. All right, now we have Marissa Lee, number 2, right center fielder, at the plate now. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Oh and 2 to Lee. Strike 3.
And on that pitch, brings up out number 2. Stepping to the plate now, number 15, Reese Toombs.
So number 15, Reese Toombs, is coming to the plate. She is a shortstop for Virginia. And that ball is hit over the second baseman's head in the right field for a base hit. And the ball is brought back in quickly to the second baseman. So Toombs is on first base with a base hit.
Batting now, number 10, Jolie Lane.
All right, we have Jolie Lane, number 10. She is the third baseman for Virginia. We got 2 outs here in the top of the first. Strike 1 is the call. There we go. And the pitch is fouled back. It's a quick 0-2 count to Lane. So with Toombs at first base with 2 outs here in the top of the first, Lane's job is to get her over at least, to continue getting on base. And that is popped up on the right side. And the foul ball was not to be able to be reached by the first baseman, Allie Armstead. So the count remains 0-2. So Lane is back in the box. Strike 3 called, looking as the umpire does his happy dance. I'm not saying he's happy she struck out. He's just happy he gets to call strike 3 because he gets to dance backwards and pull his arms forward and backwards. It's just something to watch. And let's change that state. We had the umpire cleaning the mounds, pitching rubber, and I just needed to change that visual for a second. There we go. All right, so we're going to the bottom of the first. There was 1 hit in the top of the first by Toombs, and 2 Ks by Pettijohn, and 1 ground out. So now that Alabama's coming to the plate, we have number 16 Vickers leading off. She's your catcher, number 9 Brassington. And I just want to make sure I checked out some of the pronunciations of these names, and there was 3 of them that were not correct. And I checked to make sure, because the correct pronunciation is vital on this, because the kids are playing and their families watching, and they don't want to hear mistakes like that over the air, and I don't blame them. But anyway, batting second, number 9 is Eliza Brassington. She's the shortstop. Batting third, number 6, Catherine Pettijohn. She's the pitcher. Number 7 batting fourth, Peyton White, the third baseman. Number 34, Dahlia Perez. She's batting fifth and playing second. Number 36, Allie Armstead, batting sixth, first baseman. Batting seventh, number 5, Madison Painter, left center field. Batting eighth, number 1, Lucy Schroll, like roll with the Schroll. She's a substitute. Batting ninth, 00, Kennedy Hunter, right center field. And we have Virginia getting ready to pitch here. I'll get the last 3 here in a second. So we lead off with number 16, Ann Vickers, the catcher. She fouls it off down the first baseline. So back to the lineup is batting 10th, number 12, Graham Pittman in right field. Batting 11th, number 2, Mary Winsett Hughes, the substitute. And number 22, batting 12th, Addison Chapman in left field. So the count is 0-1 to Vickers, and that ball is high, so it is ball 1. All right, Vickers is back in the box, awaiting the pitch from Barton, Mallory Barton. She is the daughter of the coach, Brian Barton. In fact, Brian has two daughters playing on this team, Aubrey Barton, who's number 23, and Mallory Barton, who's number 9. He also has a cousin, Avery Barton, on the team, as well as a niece, Emma Barton. So that's strike 3. Let me get that all count out. So with a bunch of Bartons on the team, what could go wrong? I meant that positively, just to make sure. All right, that is a roller down to the home plate. So the count is 1-0 to Eliza Brasington. And the pitch fouled off directly behind her. Strike 1. Bit of a breeze today. And the pitch is batted past the pitcher, who's running to try and catch up with it. Eliza's running down first base, and she is safe. So Brasington gets on base with a single that just went right to the pitcher, Mallory Barton, and deflected off her glove, and she had to chase it down between her and the shortstop, and by the time she retrieved it, Eliza was already on base. Up now is number 6, Catherine Pettijohn. She is the pitcher for Alabama, and she has done a fine job with her pitching. I've seen her pitch in 2 games so far. So the count is 0-1 to Pettijohn. And the pitch. High and inside, ball 1. Brasington is daring the catcher to try and pick her off. That's swing and a miss, strike 2. One and 2 to Pettijohn. And as fouled back, count remains the same. 1 out here in the bottom of the first. The score is 0-0. Don't ask me who's winning. And the pitch is coming from Barton. And that is fouled off way to the right. I think it just hit the fire truck over there. Yes, it did. Count remains 1 and 2. And Mallory sets the pitch. High, ball 2. Brasington thought about going to second, but the catcher was able to retrieve the ball before it got away. And the pitch. That's a... Hold on. Looks like the shortstop missed the tag, but Pettijohn struck out on that last pitch. Okay, so we have Coach Barton going out to speak to the umpire, and they were thinking that he was thinking that the Brasington has ran out of the baseline, but with the second base umpire there, called her safe. It was kind of just like a little dodge to the left and then back in again, but I can't see the baseline from here, so I'm not the official judge on that, but I'm just seeing that she just kind of dodged around the player to elude the tag. Whether she ran out of the baseline, that's up to the umpire. All right, she is safe at second. And now we have 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. And we have Peyton White coming to the plate. She is the third baseman, number 7. That is low, ball 1, and Brosington takes off and safe at third. Really close play. And now they're cleaning the third base bag because there's a divot. So 1-0 to count to White. Up, time's called. They are giving a free pass to White. She is now going to be on first. They are not going to test her batting skills. They're going to bring in Dahlia Perez. So now we have first and third. Let me update that. All right, Dahlia Perez is at the plate. So that was an intentional walk. An intentional walk to Peyton White. And that is called strike by the umpire. And the pitch from Mallory. Strike 2, and White goes down to second. Basically is an indifference. The catcher did not throw due to the runner at third. So the count now is 0-2 to Perez, with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The strategy works for Virginia. So no score, even though Brasington was on third and White was ending up on second. So we had 1 hit, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts by Mallory Barton. So it was like strikeout, hit, strikeout, walk, strikeout, end of the inning. All right, as we come to the top of the second, we will have number 14, Cadence Friend. She is the first baseman for Virginia, followed by number 22, Emma Barton, who is the catcher. And then bringing up the bottom end of the top 3 will be Alyssa Gosney. She is substitute. She is number 1. I don't think I mentioned the coaches for the Alabama Angels. Head coach is Leon Brasington, and then Coach Robert Pittman and Coach Tripp Vickers complete the troop. They all dedicate their time. Nobody is paid as far as coaches and everything like that. That is volunteer, pure volunteer time, and I applaud them for that. I used to coach when my daughters were younger. And that is ball high to Friend. She's batting right and plays first base for Virginia. And that is ball 2. So Friend is back in the box. And that is popped up to the right. The first baseman for Virginia, Allie Armstead, ran out of room. The fence is blocking her way after about 20 feet, 25 feet. And they use an 8-foot fence to make sure that, well, I can't really tell why they have it that high, but. And that ball is batted again down to the right side. This time it's more of a line drive. But that brings the count to 2-2. So after starting off 2-0, she now finds herself evened out 2-2. And we have number 5, Painter, in the shot right now. Let's go back. I just want to make sure that we can see the batter. That looks like we can still see her very well, so we'll just leave it there. So Friend is back in the box, and she fouls off yet another ball. And that sounded like it hit the fire truck. Yes, it did. And they're always asking to have the balls returned to the playing field because they're limited in the amount of the balls that they have. And it's not like Major League Baseball. They have an unlimited supply, it seems like. That is strike 3, and there goes the umpire. He's a happy dance. That is a strikeout dance. He's not doing it to be rude. That's just his style. Kind of reminds me of Leslie Nielsen during the Naked Gun series of the movies back in the 90s. He played an umpire in one scene, and he was doing all these breakdance moves, and it was just funny. You got to look it up. Google Naked Gun. All right, we have number 22, Emma Barton, at the plate. She is the first baseman for Virginia, and the count now is 0-2, with one out here in the top of the second. And remember, nobody has lost yet. Virginia and Alabama are the undefeated teams. So whoever loses will have to play this afternoon. And that is ball 1 to Barton. That's Emma Barton. She is the niece to the coach. And the pitch. That is low and got away from the catcher. Make it 2-2. I like it when the umpires show a little bit of flavor because I know their job might seem a bit boring. Ball, strike, out, ball, safe. Yeah, so there we go. That's strike 3. That was the swinging strike, so the umpire does not do his happy dance. So right now we have 2 outs. Seems that Pettijohn has struck out 4 batters so far. And that's ball 1. So out of the 6 batters that Pettijohn has faced, she has struck out 2/3 of them. See, who needs math, right? Now you're trying to figure out, let's see, 2/3 of 6. My kids are always saying, I'll never use math after school. 2-0 the count to Gosney. She is number 1 for Virginia. She's substituted. It's Alyssa Gosney. She's at the plate. 3-0. It looks like Gosney might be drawing a walk here. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. And the pitch. Strike 2. So after being up 3-0, she's now evened at 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the second. Nobody on. And Pettijohn about to pitch. Nope. Low and outside. That is a ball. And Gosney takes her base. That is the first walk given up by Pettijohn. And now we have Zatria Whitehead, number 19. She plays left field. She bats right. And that is a swing, strike 1. Foul ball off to the right. Whitehead sets. That has popped again to the right side for strike 2. And I don't know if you hear all the screaming from the dugouts. Some of these kids, I swear, they're going to lose their voice before the end of the tournament. And the pitch from Pettijohn. And that is hit down to the first base side. The second baseman covers the first base bag as she should. And that is it for the inning. Whitehead grounds out, and if you're keeping score at home, that's a 3-4 putout. Normally it would be 4-3, but since the second baseman covered first because the first baseman went to retrieve the ball, it is a 3-4 putout. And that is it for the top of the second. Go to the bottom of the second, and I'll be back right after this. All right, we're back here at Grayson P. Austin Field at the J.E.J. Moore Sports Complex. The J.E.J. stands for John Edwards Jeffries. And if you had to pay by the letter, you'd go with J.E.J. as well. So there you go. So in the bottom of the second, Alabama will come to the plate, and leading off will be number 36, Allie Armstead, the first baseman, followed by number 5, Madison Painter, the left center fielder, and number 1, Lucy Schroll. Yesterday I was calling her Scroll because I was just trying to go grammatically and, with all the rules with grammar. But I was told by one of the managers it's Schroll, like roll with the Schroll, which I think is really cool. So there you go. First pitch to Armstead is for a ball. And that is now a strike, so the count is even, 1-1. And for those who were listening last week, in the first day or two of the this section of the World Series, I brought my dog Levi with me. I did not want to leave him home alone for 2 weeks, so he comes with me on travels when that occurs. And he is now under the table licking my knee for whatever reason, and he got it all slobbery. Yay. 2-1 the count to Armstead. That is fouled off and almost caught. Almost caught. And as a strike 3, Armstead goes down swinging.
Batting now for Alabama, number 5, Madison Painter.
So Armstead goes down swinging, and Madison Painter comes to the plate, the left center fielder, number 5. Swing and a miss. Oh, 1 to Painter. Kind of a breezy day. Now the wind is blowing in toward home plate. And this count now is 1-1 to Painter. Mallory Barton so far has 4 strikeouts. That's strike 2. And that's the way it's been the last couple games I've been broadcasting here. The pitching has been immaculate. They're just striking out the batter, and it's not because the batters are any good. It's just that there goes another strikeout. It's just that these pitchers put a spin on the ball, and it looks like it's going one way at the start, and then it comes back in, and either they swing at it or they don't even swing, and then they get called out looking. So it's a lose-lose situation sometimes for these batters. This is number 1, Lucy Schroll. She's a substitute for today's game. They do a rotation about who's playing where in the field. And then also they got to watch their pitch counts. They have 17 innings to pitch in this whole tournament. And they play 5 innings per game. So you can have a pitcher, basically pitch the whole game twice or 3 times, and then they only have 2 innings left. But what happens if you play 5 games? Then you just wasted your best pitcher. So they're trying to balance it out properly by keeping limits on the pitchers, especially at this age. They're only 9 to 11 here, so they want to do not want to damage these kids' arms by overthrowing. Count is 1-2 to Schroll. And the pitch, swing and a miss. She off-speeded the pitch. She was throwing gas the first couple times, and then she slowed it down and caught the batter off guard. And Schroll goes down swinging. So we're going to go to the top of the third now with the score 0-0. Once again, do not ask me who's winning. So Alabama exits that inning, or I'm sorry, Virginia goes off the field with 6 strikeouts now against Alabama. And Virginia's going to come to the plate, and Alabama has struck out 4 of their batters in the first 2 innings. So we're in the top of the third, and we'll have number 23, Aubrey Barton, for Virginia come to the plate, followed by number 7, Avery Barton, and then number 8, Madeline Tatum. So here we are in the top of the third. We got Barton, and Tatum coming to the plate for Virginia. And Vickers throws it down to second base to signify that they are ready to bat. The umpire gets in there and cleans the plate like he should, and he gets another clean plate award. I believe this one has at least 12 clean plate awards during the course of the tournament. I really don't know how many he has. And Pettyjohn delivers, foul back. It's strike one. Now, because of the backstop being so close to the rear of the box, the batter's box, it gets very interesting sometimes on the deflections off the cage. I'll describe that more in a second. Pettyjohn delivers, and the ball is popped up to the right center field. And because the left fielder came in and tried to get the ball, now it is a collision, and the ball falls to the ground. So Aubrey Barton is safe at first base due to a collision of Alabama players. The right center fielder had it lined up. She was going to get the ball, and the left fielder ran into her, not seeing her. You know, it wasn't on purpose, obviously, but the left fielder came in tracking the ball to try and get it. And because of lack of communication, that was the issue there. Vickers throws down to first base. The ball gets away from the first baseman, but the right fielder covering it is able to retrieve it before Aubrey Barton can go off to the second base. So we have 0-1 to Avery Barton. All right, the count is 1-1. And Pettyjohn delivers. That's ball 2. 2-1 to Avery. To be honest, I don't think they have enough Bartons on the team. I wish it would be all 9. That way I wouldn't have to remember different last names. It would make it easier for me. That's strike 2 to Avery. And the pitch, that's a check swing. They're checking down at the umpire, and he says safe. So that is a full count now. So with the count full here in the top of the third with nobody out and 1 on, Avery Barton steps back into the box, and now the umpire calls time. And the umpire's got a clean, wow, that is really a dirty plate. All right, the umpire gets another good clean plate award. Just think to yourselves, when you were children, did you get clean plate awards from your parents when you ate everything? Think about it. And the pitch is called strike 3, and the umpire does his happy dance. So Avery Barton strikes out. Avery's not happy. She thinks that ball was low. All right, number 8, Madeline Tatum, lays the bunt down. The third baseman throws it over to nobody because the first baseman thought that the second baseman had it. And here comes the errors. All right, the Barton, Aubrey Barton is now at third base. And Tatum is at second. I'll describe what happened here in a second as it calms down. What happened was Tatum laid a bunt down to the third base side. The third baseman for Alabama, who is Peyton White, picked up the ball, threw it to first. The first baseman, Ali Armstead, was off the bag, but second baseman Dalia Perez was closer to the bag. Neither one of them moved to get to the ball, that the ball was being thrown at first base. So a bit of a miscommunication there. And then, because that was occurring, Aubrey Barton was then going to third because she saw the confusion and she figured she could take advantage of that, which she did. She is now at third base, and we have Barton at third, Aubrey Barton at third, Madeline Tatum at second, with one out, no score, and Virginia is threatening. Okay, now we have Harley Nelson, number 16. She's the right fielder for Virginia. She has a strike zone the size of a loaf of bread. It's going to make it very difficult for Pettyjohn to strike her out. And she lays down the bunt. And if I remember yesterday, Nelson laid down a really great bunt. It's got her safely on first. What was that movie, Beverly Hills Chihuahua, where they're always saying that we might be small, but we're mighty? I believe that of Nelson. And she goes and offers up at the pitch, and so the count is now 0-2. The first pitch was a called strike. So now it is 0-2. The Virginia umpire coach is now calling time. And I think Nelson got some dirt in her eye. It's very breezy here today, and the dirt is loose because there's been no rain now for several days. All right, we're back in it. Pettyjohn is about ready to deliver to Nelson, an 0-2 count. Swing and a miss, strike three. So that brings up out number 2. And that'll bring up Mallory Barton, number 9, the pitcher for Virginia. So with 2 on, 2 out, that count is no good anymore. There we go. Low ball 1. It's 1-0 to Mallory. 2 outs here in the top of the third. 2 on. Virginia is threatening to open up this game. And the ball gets by Vickers. And Pettyjohn runs in to cover the plate. And it is all covered. Nobody moves. The count is 2-0 now. I got to say, when I was watching Alabama the last couple times, their defense was pretty much flawless. But today they opened up with a couple mistakes that could cost them. Let's see how they handle the pressure of that. And it's amazing how much tension these kids can take considering their age. And the pitch, low ball 3. She does have a base open, so Mallory Barton grounded out to the third baseman or shortstop last night. There we go. In the first inning, she grounded out, so now they're just giving her the free pass. Not going to take any chances, so now it's going to be a force out at any base. So that is an intentional walk after being down 3-0. 3 balls, no strikes. So now we have Marissa Lee, number 2, the right center fielder. She fouls the first pitch back, 0-1. Well, anyway, the umpire, I was going back to the story earlier, is like the umpire was behind the plate. The ball was fouled off, hit him in the mask, bounced up, hit the backstop, and then bounced back down and hit him in the back of the head. He was hit twice by the same foul ball. And that pitch is hit, and that is hit the right center field. And the right fielder for Alabama Graham Pittman grabs the ball for the third and final out. So no score so far. And if you're scoring at home, that is a 9 unassisted or an F9, depending on how you want to do it. So that was a very interesting inning. The Virginia came very close to scoring the first run of the game. And right now we're going to go to the bottom of the third. Score 0-0. And we will have Hunter, Pittman, and Hughes come to the plate. That's Kennedy Hunter, the right center fielder, number 00. And number 12, Graham Pittman, who just made that catch in right field, batting second. And then number 2, Mary Winslow Hughes, the substitute. Now, if you're not familiar with the Angels division of the Dixie softball, they play 5 innings. So we're almost completing 3 innings here at this point, but we're about 3/8 of the way there. No, we're about 5/8 of the way through there. More math. Through the game, and if it is tied at the end of the 5th, they will go to extra innings, and then they will play 1 inning per side. So this way, everybody gets a chance. But I just couldn't believe that the umpire got hit on the way up and then on the way back on the same foul ball. Felt bad for him. He was okay. It wasn't very hard, but he sure was clearing his head for a minute or two afterwards. All right, the catcher, Emma Barton throws the ball down to second to signify that they are ready. And Kennedy Hunter, 00, comes to the plate. All right, it would appear we have a final in the Darlings tournament. It is, at least for this game, it's South Carolina 1, Louisiana 0, so that is a final score. So if you're a Darlings fan and a South Carolina fan, you can cheer. If you're a Louisiana fan, sorry. All right, that's strike 1 to Hunter. And she lays down the bunt, but she pulls the bat back, but it's still called a strike. So 0-2 to Hunter. My dog Levi now has his head underneath my leg. He's a very happy boy. He's enjoying the sun. Last week not too happy because we had a monsoon go through here and he got doused. He said, "This is not a bathtub." He likes baths. He just doesn't like getting caught in the rain. 1-2 to count to Hunter. That was close, but she gets a reprieve. The pitch is called a ball. So 2-2 with no outs here in the bottom of the third. Hunter gets back into the box. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. She goes down swinging. All right, Graham Pittman comes to the plate. This is her first time to bat as well during this game. It's been a pitcher's duel, so the teams have not batted around or anything. Strike 1 to Graham. But like I said before, it's like 5 innings for this game, and no more than 10 batters will come to the plate because there's no mercy rule. Strike 2, and so there's no mercy rule, so they allow 10 batters come to the plate, and unless 3 outs occur, that's always paramount. Strike 3, Pittman goes down on 3 pitches. That's 2 strikeouts in a row. And Barton has thrown 6 strikeouts in a row. She struck out 7 of the last 8 and 8 of the last 10. Hughes comes to the plate. Mary Winslow Hughes, she's number 2. She's one of the substitutes. And the count is 0-1. Oh, I'm sorry, 1-0. That was my fault. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Hughes turns to bunt. She tries to lay it down and misses. That's 1-1. 1-1 the count to Hughes. Mallory Barton pitches. Hughes goes, offers at it again, misses. 1-2 to count. So with nobody on, Barton delivers. It's swinging strike 3. Strikes out the side again. So we're going into the top of the 4th. Mallory Barton has struck out the side twice, back to back. Nine strikeouts so far in 3 innings. She only gave up 1 hit and 1 walk. And as you can hear the chanting from the little ones in the dugout. It's amazing. We're going to go into the 4th inning, and there's a player on the Alabama team that has yet to come to the plate. And now we're going into the second run through for Virginia. They've been a little bit more productive on the base path, but in the end, what counts is runs, and neither team has been able to push a run across the plate. So I got a feeling that the first person who scores is going to be the winner. All right, we got Reese Toombs, number 15, coming up to the plate, leading off, and then it'll be followed by Jolie Lane, number 10, and then Caden's Friend after that. So Reese plays shortstop for Virginia. She does a fine job there.
Leading on, top of the 4th inning, for Virginia, number 15, Reese Toombs.
Reese Toombs comes to the plate, and that's with 2 O's, Toombs. And the umpires are gathering together for some reason. Looks like there's a question by the Alabama coach. And since the third base umpire is the crew chief, he is the one that is I believe the Alabama coach was holding something that was reflective. No, that's not it. That's not it. I do not know what the... Okay, anyway, we're going to go into the game now. All right, the ball was high for ball 1. And the pitch is fouled back for a strike, 1-1. I don't know what the issue was with the coach, and I'm not going to assume anything at this point. But the umpire had asked him to remove something, so he did, and no problem there. So anyway, the count is 1-1 to Toombs. She waits, swings it, fouls back, and it gets reflected down. So the count now is 1-2. Newton's laws of physics come into play here, where an object in motion tends to stay in motion unless it is disrupted by a force, an outside force. And yeah, everybody's like, what? That's a strikeout. Toombs strikes out, which my meaning is that when you hit the ball and deflect it up into the backstop, it's going to come right back down at you. All right, that was a strikeout for Toombs there. And Pettijohn is holding her own as far as strikeouts go against Mallory Barton. That was Pettijohn's 7th strikeout of the game. And that ball, too, bounces up and hits the backstop. All right, 2-0 to count to Lane. Jolie Lane, number 10, the third baseman for Virginia. Strike one, catching the outside corner of the plate. And now the wind is blowing again, once again blowing into the home plate. It seems to shift. It's either going to blow right to left or directly at us. So if you want to hit a home run, you got to wait till that wind blows right to left. 2-2 to count to Lane. That ball is hit down the first base line over to second base, and then second baseman Dahlia Perez picks up the ball and throws to Ali Armstead for the out. Sorry for the noise effects there. Somebody just kicked the mic stand. Yodi shows up with some water for me. Thank you very kindly. Greatly appreciate it. All right, as we get back to the game here, that's 2 outs as the second baseman threw the first to get Lane out. And this ball is struck up the middle. The left center fielder has got the ball, and then, they look like they got Friend. Chaser back to first base. That was a base hit right past the pitcher, Pettyjohn, into center field, but the left center fielder was able to pick it up and get it back into the field before Friend could get to second base. So let's get everything situated here. I guess we're good. We have a runner on first. There we are. And Pettyjohn has taken a moment to adjust her mask. So 0-0 is the count to Barton. And we have Emma Barton, and Caden's Friend takes off for second. She is now at second base safely. And the count is 0-1 to Emma Barton, the catcher. And the pitch, strike one, and Friend is taking off there, and she gets caught up. Nope, the ball is dropped. She is now safe. Another dropped ball. A forced error occurs and allows Friend to get to third unimpeded. That's 0-2, and the ball goes over to the right side. So the count remains 0-2. If you're wondering why it's a little delayed on some of these graphics, I'm doing everything here. I got to do talking, got to do the books, got to do the graphics and changing of everything. And I don't mind doing it. It's just I don't have a team of 5 people helping me like the people. Here comes the play at home. Friend is coming in, and she is safe. She literally has stolen every base except for first to bring the first run to the scoreboard for Virginia. That ball got past the catcher, Vickers, and Friend took off. Vickers tries to get the ball back in time. The pitcher, Pettyjohn, does her job by getting to the home plate, but Friend slides in and is safe at home plate. So with Virginia leading now 1-0 over Alabama in the top of the fourth, the count is 1-2 to Barton, Emma Barton, and she hits the ball down the first base side, and it is foul. The umpire picks it up, hands it over to number 36, who is the first baseman, Ali Armstead. All right, here we go. So it's still 1-2, 2 outs. And now the ball is hit down the first baseman. The second baseman, Perez, runs over, but Armstead takes it herself and gets Perez out unassisted. So that is a 3 unassisted for Armstead, getting Perez out. So with 1 hit, 3 stolen bases, Friend is able to score the only run in the game right now. So she had 1 hit that went up the middle. She stole second a few pitches later, stole third the very next pitch, and then a couple pitches later stole home on a pass ball. So the scoreboard is correct at 1-0, so I just want to make sure about that. So we're in the bottom of the first, and now we have an Alabama coach talking with the umpiring crew. I do not know what's going on. Can't hear him from here. It's not a like a yelling match or anything. It's just like something's being explained. For the most part, all the coaches and umps have been very civil with each other, and I enjoy that because it shows the kids how to respond to adversity. You don't need shouting matches. That doesn't help. So we have Alabama coming to the plate, and we have Chapman, who has yet to bat. Addison Chapman, number 22, the left fielder, she has yet to bat. And that is followed by number 16, Ann Vickers, the catcher, and number 9, Eliza Brasington, the shortstop. All right, as the umpire cleans the plate, we have the infield coming back to their positions. Addison Chapman is now stepping to the plate, number 22.
Bottom of the fourth inning, number 22, Addison Chapman.
And there you go. Strike one, says Blue. Mallory Barton is on a 7-strikeout streak of batters. Strike two. Chapman steps out, swings the bat a little bit. She wants to regroup to kind of clear her head, boost her self-confidence in there and say, I can do this, I can do this. And that is ball one. And she could do it. She watched the ball go by for a ball. Good eye. All right, 1-2 to count to Chapman here in the bottom of the fourth. Ball two. And I think I'm going to call it a strikeout dance rather than a happy dance. That just, the denotion, the intonation about that is just, he's not happy about the person striking out. And that's only a called third strike. When it's a swinging strike, a strikeout, he doesn't do it. So we have one out here with a strikeout to Chapman, continuing the streak of strikeouts by Barton, Mallory Barton. That is 8 strikeouts in a row now. And we have Brasington, Eliza Brasington at the plate, called strike. So Brasington was one of the few players to get on base and the only player to get a hit in this game for the Bama. And that ball is hit bouncing past the pitcher, and it goes to the shortstop for Virginia, who is Reese Toombs, throws it over to the first baseman, Caden's friend, and Vickers is safe at first on a base hit. That bounced right past the pitcher, up and over her glove. She could not get to it. And there's timeout on the field right now there's a shoe tying event in left field. That is a safety hazard. The umpires do not want to have the players with untied shoes. They can trip and fall at any time, and they are very mindful of that. And that ball is hit to the right side to the first baseman Friend, who touches the bag, and Brasington is out on a 3 unassisted. So Vickers goes to second on the play. There is 2 outs now. So Catherine Pettyjohn comes to the plate with a runner in scoring position. Pettyjohn struck out at the last time she was at the plate in the first inning. So with 2 outs, the first pitch is a called strike. Vickers is at second, hoping her battery mate, Pettijohn, can bring her in and tie this score up. And the pitch from Barton, high and inside. Pettijohn had to turn her head away because it was that close. Not intentional, it just happens to be that way. 1-1 count to Pettijohn. Swing and a miss, strike two. One and two to count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. We have a runner at second in Vickers. And her Pettijohn is at the plate trying to bring her in. Swing and a miss. Barton slowed up the pitch about half speed and struck her out swinging. So with the streak of 8 strikeouts in a row over after Vickers gets on base, and Brasington is out at first through a 3 unassisted, the strikeout streak will now begin again at 1, but she has 9 overall for the game. And the record right now for this tournament is 14, and that was done yesterday. Let me see. Trying to figure out who did that. I believe it was the Louisiana team, and the pitcher was Jernigan. So Jernigan threw 14 strikeouts during that game yesterday. All right, so now we're here in the top of the fifth. Let's clear all that. This is the last inning, unless Alabama can at least tie it up in the bottom of the fifth or go ahead. If they do go ahead, and then the game will be over. But right now, we're just going to concentrate on the top of the fifth. It's 1-0 Virginia over Alabama. Another pitcher's duel we have today. And coming to the plate is number 1, Alyssa Gosney. She's a substitute player. Number 19, Zatria Whitehead, left field. And number 23, Aubrey Barton, who is the second baseman.
Virginia, number 1, Alyssa Gosney.
All right, Alyssa Gosney comes to the plate. Umpire clears the plate. There's some dirt on it, so he doesn't get some little dirt, so he doesn't get the clean plate award. It has to be sparkling. That's fouled off for strike 1. Can't believe we're already through 4 innings and we're in the 5th right now, and we're only been on for just over an hour. Usually these games take about 90 minutes when everything averages out. But this has been a very speedy game. An hour and 10 minutes, and then I got on live 10 minutes prior to go on and talk about the teams and their players and all that. Previous information from the games before. But that is 1 and 2 to count. Sorry, did not update that. Now it's 2 and 2. 2 and 2 to count to Gosney. Full count. Gosney watched that high pitch go by. And the pitch. Walk. It appears that we have a new pitcher. My apologies, I did not get that. But Catherine Pettijohn is not in the game anymore as far as pitching. It is Eliza Brasington is the pitcher now. And I imagine Pettijohn went over to shortstop because they did this before. And I don't think because it was the inability to do the job properly, but they are limited to the pitching in the game. Vickers throws down to first base to try and get Cosney off. And she does a split to make sure that she gets in there unabated. 1-1 the count to Whitehead. But like I was saying, Pettijohn is over at third. So she's at third base. And the third baseman, White, went to second, so that takes care of that. So now we know where everything went. The throw goes down from Vickers to White and is not in time to get Gosney stealing second. So Gosney steals second. No outs here in the top of the fifth. Whitehead at the plate. And 2-1 to count. And the pitch. That is ball high and gets away from Vickers, and then, oh, that was a bad tumble. Time. She had a. That is a bad tumble by Gosney going into third. And she was able to get up and walk around. The coach has her kind of walk it off. She seems to be okay. But it was like a jackknife positioning going into third. But she is safe at third. And I know sometimes parents get a little nervous about their children playing, and injuries is a cause to make the hackle stand up. So everything's good here. So Virginia players, Gosney is safe at third with the count 3-1 to Whitehead. And I'm getting buried by this dirt from the field because it's blowing back into home plate again, and I'm right behind home plate. But it's 3-1 to count. And that is take your base. That is ball four. Whitehead was not sure. So now it's first and third with a walk to Whitehead. So 2 stolen bases by Gosney after getting a walk herself. And we are ending up with first and third with no outs. And Whitehead takes off for second. So second and third now with a strike on Aubrey Barton. Low ball one. Yeah, it's second baseman Aubrey Barton, number 23. So 1-1 to count. She squares the bunt. She does not pull it back, and it is strike 2. So with no outs here, Virginia's threatening the score once more. That is ball 2. And like I said earlier, the pitcher, Pettijohn, probably had to get removed from the game, at least from the pitcher's mound, because of pitch limit. And that ball is struck with such ferocity, it hits the top of the backstop and bounces back down into the home plate, all within a split second. And the umpire had to cover his head to make sure he didn't get rifled again. I don't blame him. And the pitch now is popped up to the first base side. Caught by number 36, Allie Armstead. So that is a 3 unassisted. And no runners advance. Sorry, I got to get that first baseman on the second. There we go. Now it's second and third. All right, so we got 1 out now, 2 on. And we have another Barton coming to the plate. This is Avery Barton. She is the cousin to the coach. And she is, the ball gets away from Vickers, but no movement is on the baseline, so they all stay where they are. And the count, let me clear this. So we got 1 out. 1-1 to count. And the pitch. And the ball is batted, but it's foul. So Brassington is pitching in Pettyjohn's place. Most likely due to inning count. They're allowed to pitch 17 innings. And since neither team has lost, they want to try and save Pettyjohn for the next game. 2-1 to count with one out here in the top of the fifth, with Virginia leading Alabama 1-0. And that is low, ball 2. Brassington covers the home plate while Vickers retrieves the ball. Sometimes the ball can die at the base of this cage, and it will not bounce back. So Vickers has to be, or any catcher has to be on guard for that happening. The wind is picking up, so it's 3 balls, 2 strikes now. And the wind is blowing directly into home plate, blowing the dust into my face. I feel like I'm in the Sahara Desert looking for my camel. That's ball 4. We have the bases loaded once again for Virginia. They had it loaded twice, and the Alabama coach is coming out to talk to Brassington. It's okay, it's his daughter, but I think he's going to take the ball. The ball dropped away. I don't think it was intentional. All right. Looks like White is coming in to pitch, and Brassington is going to go over to shortstop to her original position. And with White at shortstop, she will now come in and pitch. So number 7, Peyton White, is in the game pitching. So the coach is shouting instruction, and they're all playing in, which can be good if the batter is going to bunt. But what happens if this batter hits it over their heads? And that batter will be, let's see, that batter will be Tatum, Madeline Tatum, number 8. So we have Gosney at third, Whitehead at second, and Aubrey Barton at first. Madeline Tatum from left center will be coming in. She's number 8. And they're giving Peyton White enough time to loosen up. Looks like she's got a little gas on her throw.
Number 7 for Alabama is now pitching. Peyton White.
This is the 5th batter of the inning, and it is Madeline Tatum. She looks like she's ready to go, and she swings and bounces it back to the backstop. White gets off the mound, and then she comes back to the pitching rubber, and she delivers the pitch. And it's popped up to the infield over their head, and Perez cannot get it. Perez cannot get it, and it is, all right. Perez could not get it, so Tatum is safe at first. Gosney comes in and scores. Whitehead tries to score and is out. So now there are 2 outs. All right, so the infield fly has been called, so now that is a 3rd out. So Tatum is out due to the infield fly. Gosney scores, and that counts. So it's 2-0, and Whitehead is out because she was tagged out. So the only person left on base was Barton. She would have been at second. But the infield fly rule was in effect, and Perez, Dahlia Perez, was leaning back to go get the ball, and she could not retrieve it. And now the Virginia coach is asking about it, and he's saying his piece, and then the ump says his piece, and then everybody goes back to their places in peace. So So Virginia is leading 2-0 over Alabama going into the bottom of the 5th. And now we got all that cleared away. But yeah, that was a little excitement there. Infield fly rule, Whitehead gets tagged out at the plate. And Tatum is out on the infield fly. And it was already an out in the inning, so that's the third and final out. It can be so quiet for so long, and then all heck breaks loose. Okay, Mallory Barton is still pitching. She has 11 strikeouts so far in this game. So the Virginia leading 2-0 here in the bottom of the 5th. Alabama has their back against the wall. They must score 2 to continue this game. If not, that's their first loss, and they will have to play the next game this afternoon. And I believe that's at 3 o'clock or 1 o'clock? No, 12. No, hold on for a second. Let me double check that. The afternoon game will be at 1 o'clock. There we go. So the afternoon game will be at 1 o'clock, and they will be playing. They have to have at least an hour break. That's the rule. Any team that plays twice in the same day has to have at least an hour break. That White gets hit by that pitch, and the count was 0-1 at the time. And Virginia coach comes in and says that she is now the umpires are going to converse. The Coach Barton says that accused White of I don't like that word. Stated that White had stepped into the pitch to make sure that she was hit. That's his call. That's what he's saying. But the umpires are now conversing, discovering in their eyes what they saw. Me, honestly, it just looked like she just got hit. But that's just me. I'm not showing favoritism to either team. And the umpire is now explaining to Coach Barton that I imagine since White is still standing there, that she is going to remain there. All right, so the explanation is given to Barton. He accepts it. And now we have no outs, 1 on. And we have Dahlia Perez coming to the plate. So with White at first base, they got the start of an inning where they can try and tie this game. We will see. And the pitch is low, ball 1. 1-0 to count to Perez. And the pitch by Barton has fouled off, out of play. So that's strike 1. So 1-1 the count. Remember earlier when I said this game was moving by at lightning speed and it was like just over an hour and 10 minutes into the and we were in the 4th inning? Well, that inning and this inning has brought it up to the average time of 90 minutes. We're at an hour and 25 minutes right now. So doesn't matter how fast it starts, it's how you end. And that ball is hit over to the second baseman, and she picks it up and got the runner White at second. They got the lead runner out, White at second. The second baseman for Virginia is Aubrey Barton, another Barton, and she threw it over to the shortstop, who was playing by Reese Toombs. So it was a Barton Toombs out, and she got the lead runner out. So Perez is at first, safe on a fielder's choice. So let me clear that. We got 1 out. And Armstead comes to the plate. She bats left. And the first pitch is a ball to Armstead. So Alabama's down their last 2 outs. They have a runner on, and that ball is stroked into the center fielder just over the shortstop Reese Toombs' glove. She had a bit of glove on it, but was not able to catch it. But then the ball was brought in, and so we have runners at first and second. Perez at first, Armstead at second. We still have 1 out. Alabama is showing life. And they're coming to the center. Barton wants to speak to his crew. And the umpire cleans the plate again and blowing dust my way. And he does not get the clean plate award because there's still dirt on the plate. And now the umpire is asking Barton to break it up. He's had his time. It's usually about a minute. 90 seconds max is what the umpires will say. After that, they just want to get the game going, which, is the rules. They are not unlimited time allowed to talk up there. So, all right, so we have first and second, and Painter is at the plate. And that looks like she checked her swing. And the coach is asking his catcher to check, but the umpire is not in position because he's at second base right now. And the pitch, strike 1. So the count is 1-1. Usually with an umpire at first base, it's easier to see if the batter had checked or not checked their swing. But we only have 3 umpires, and since there's a runner at second, they have to move over to the second base position. Now he's out of position to not make that call. So 1 out, count 1-1, 2 on, second and third. Let me get that straightened out because they did steal. Really, they took it without any prejudice. Oh, there goes the ball up to the second baseman. And Barton, it was first and second. That was my apologies. I thought they were second and third, but it was first and second. They were first and second. Now it's full. The bases are full. Barton at second had the ball. She was ready to throw over to third, but she held on to the ball so as to not have a mistake cost them a run. So with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th, we now have bases loaded. Perez at third, Armstead at second, Painter at first, and she had a slow dribbler to Barton at second, and she was able to get down in time. So as the time Barton got the ball, Painter was already crossing the bag at first. She was running so fast, she looked like she was chasing an ice cream truck. You wonder what the kids are thinking to try and get them to run faster. What thoughts are going through their head. Run, or, whatever enthusiasm gets them going, get their adrenaline up. And the pitch from Barton is strike 1. So far, this is the only inning that more than 2 batters has appeared in the inning. And what other thing is that she has not struck out anyone after facing 4 batters. And that's swing and a miss. So Mallory Barton is now ahead in the count 0-2 to Schroll. It's number 1, Lucy Schroll. So Schroll is at the plate with the bases loaded, 0-2 with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. A lot of tension going on. This is do or die. And as a pop-up and is a dead ball because it bounced off the backstop. So nobody can advance. Mallory Barton gets back out on the mound. Schroll waits, and she pops it down the third base line. It's still 0-2. Schroll picks up her bat and gets back in. But before she gets back in, she wants to take a swing or two. And now it's 0-2 to Schroll. Mallory Barton delivers. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. We are now down to the last out. We are down to the last out. I didn't mean to jinx Schroll there with the strikeout and everything, because saying that Barton has not got a strikeout this inning. My apologies for that. But with everything that's going on, I just have to call him as I'm seeing him right now. All right, 1 ball, 0 strikes to Hunter. Kennedy Hunter, number 00. She is the right center fielder for Alabama. And this pitch, strike 1, swinging. So 1-1 to count, 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Virginia leading Alabama 2-0. Now this is not an elimination game. The loser will have to play later this afternoon at 1 o'clock. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Barton is checking both coaches to make sure that everything's okay. But 1-2 to count to Hunter. She steps back into the box with 2 outs, 3 on, and they're down by 2. Oh boy, she wanted to swing at that one. She was very tempted, but did not, and good thing she didn't. It's now 2-2. Count 2-2. Low, ball 3. Count now is full. I'm sure adrenaline is rising as we speak. Alabama coach on the first base side is talking to his runners. Same thing, the third base coach is talking to their runners. Doesn't get any more exciting than this. We got a full count, bases loaded, 2 outs, down by 2. And that is fouled off down the first base line. Count remains 3-2. A base hit should score 2 runs to at least tie it up. I'm sure that's what Hunter is thinking. My suggestion is just to stay within yourself. Don't overthink it and just do your best. 3-2 to count. Oh, there's time. Somebody yelled time. Oh, it's third base umpire. There's a ball. Oh, a ball got onto the field by some spectators who were playing on the other side of the fence, and it must have got away from them. So the third base umpire called time so as to not let that object interfere with the play on the field. So we have 3-2 to count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Alabama down by 2. Swing and a miss, strikeout. Barton strikes out the last 2 batters to end the game. So the final score is Virginia 2, Alabama 0. And like I said, this is not an elimination game, so these teams are not done yet. Mallory Barton finishes with 13 strikeouts of Alabama players. And again, has been a pitching paradise going on here the last couple games. Low scoring, high defensive and pitching efforts. It was the one inning for Alabama that cost them this game. It was just some overthrows and some bad base run or bad decisions on in the field, and it happens. I mean, you're not going to play a perfect game every day. That is God's honest truth. You will not play a perfect game every day, and when you have really 2 good teams coming up, it's going to be the errors that will affect the outcome, and that's how it did here. So I feel bad for Alabama, but not too bad because they still have a chance. Virginia is still undefeated, so they still have a chance to be undefeated for the entire run. And with the final score, Virginia 2, Alabama 0, I'm Trey James for JockJive Sports Entertainment. And if you like what you saw and heard today on the YouTube page, like it by hitting the thumbs up, but also subscribe for free, and you'll get updates from JockJive for sporting events, for all the sports in the areas, and just be more than happy to get. We're trying to reach 5,000 before the end of the World Series. We've been here for 2 weeks, and we're only shy by 250. So 4,750 people have subscribed so far while we've been here. So if you like what you hear, subscribe. It's free. You don't have to pay for anything as far as the getting notifications and being access to some of the games. You will get access to it. So all you do is subscribe. Now, if you want to subscribe to and watch past games, there's a $25 subscription fee annual that you can go into our library. That's where you pay when you go into the library and watch. Anytime it's live, you get to watch it for free. But going into our library, it's only $25 a year, and that's just over $2 a month. That's just insane. You know, for what you're paying for all the other subscriptions, and that's a lot of material being utilized at that point, a lot of games. And you can also download those games to where you can make videos for your team and individual players. So it's something to think about. Anyway, so again, Trey James here speaking for JockJive Sports and the 2024 Dixie Softball World Series in Prince George County at the J.E.J. Moore Sports Complex. Wanted to thank you for watching. God bless and goodbye.